Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm on another mission this morning. We're going to go pick up some items that we found on Marketplace. And it's items we've been looking for a while. And one of them for Big Red, the new international pickup. So come on along. It's going to be a fun trip probably. So our first stop on this journey is Lexington, Nebraska. We found a 15-quart commercial mixer down there, kind of like a giant KitchenAid. We had one for a time out in Nebraska. My mom had purchased it for making big batches of Portuguese sweetbread. But we've been making bigger batches of bread and stuff lately and really wanted a bigger mixer. So we found this one, so we're going to go get it. It should come in pretty handy around the homestead. So we got about 45 minutes to an hour to get there. Let's go get it. Kelly's a little worried about me going up to these little appointments by myself because of all the stuff that goes on sometimes on Craigslist and Marketplace and stuff like that. They all sound pretty legit. I do a pretty good search on the internet for these folks. I check their profiles and stuff, and always do that before you meet up with people and try to actually talk to them on the phone, because you can get a feel for people on the phone as well, and you can kind of work your way through scams if they are actually scams. So I'm feeling pretty good, and plus most of the time I'm packing anyway, so I think everything will be fine.
A half mile.
Now, Kelly sometimes goes and buys things that she finds on Marketplace, and I know how she feels. I definitely worry about her meeting up with people, but we take lots of precautions. We will screenshot each other any information like addresses, phone numbers, names of people that we're going to meet, the times that we're going to be there, and the times that we should be leaving. And that's important because we share each other's location on Google Maps, and it's constantly, so she can see my movements and stuff like that, and we do that for safety reasons. We also do that because here in the Midwest, like in snowstorms and stuff like that, when you're traveling to and from work, you know, I worry about Kelly in snowstorms, even though she was born and raised in Illinois. We don't get a lot of good cell service out where we are, but I can look on the map and see where she's at. So if she's running late getting home, I don't have to worry. I can pull her up on the map and see that she's still moving towards home and everything is okay. But if I see her stuck somewhere, I can head out and go kind of on a rescue mission or whatever. So it's a very good feature that you can use in Google Maps, is location sharing, and share it with your loved ones. It's pretty cool. And a lot of guys are like, I can't believe you're sharing your location all the time with your wife. And my answer to that is, if you have something to hide, maybe you shouldn't be married. All right, we got the mixer. We saw it run. We've got all the parts in the cab, got it strapped in here. Let's go to get our tailgate. All right, we're gonna head to get our tailgate now. We got about another hour to go to a little town called Huntley, Nebraska. So we'll head over there and get that picked up. Now, I need to admit that stop was a little sketchier than normal. I felt kind of uncomfortable there for a minute. When I called the guy when I arrived, he says, "Oh, I'll be there in a minute," and then it sounded like he looked up the address, and he said he repeated the address like he had looked it up on something, and that caught me kind of funny. He says, "I'll be right there," and so that seemed kind of weird to me. If it was his house, that he had to repeat his address like he was reading it off of something. So I'm parked there outside of his so-called house. So I immediately took the key fob for my truck out of my pocket and hid it in my stock, just in case something happened to me. They would have a little more trouble running off with my vehicle. And then when the guy showed up, I took a picture of the vehicle and him getting out of it, a very clear picture of him and his vehicle, and I texted that to Kelly so she would have a description and the license plate and everything on the car. So I'm getting a little paranoid at this point. So I walk up to the driveway and he seemed kind of weird, like, I don't know, but he said, I said, where's the mixer? Because usually people will have it like out in their driveway or in their garage. He says, oh, it's in here in the house. I'm like, oh, great. You get to go in the house. So all the while I've got my hands in my vest pocket. My hand is on my firearm. And we go in the house and I don't see a mixer. And he's like, it's down here in the basement. And I'm like, oh, great. This is getting better by the minute. So I said, go ahead, I'll follow you down. So he kind of goes ahead of me a little bit, and I'm looking around, and I'm starting to get feelings of like the movie Goodfellas or something, where I'm going to be clipped or something. So we get down to the basement. I finally see this mixer. So he said, here it is. So we went through the whole process. Can I see it run and stuff like this? And we got it. And he helped me carry it up out of the basement, and I felt a lot better once we got back outside, but probably a little sketchier than my normal pickup, but we got through it. The things that I'll do for marketplace purchases, I tell you what. So if you live in a location where you don't think you need to worry about this kind of stuff, say Nebraska, you still do. You never know where this stuff's going to hit. And usually how it works is they'll list something and the price will be very attractive, so they can get people to bite on it very quickly. And the price for this mixer was very attractive. So I was kind of skeptical at first, but I looked up the guy's profile that listed it, and he looked like a legit person. He had plenty of posts on his profile, but he was selling it for his uncle. And that's usually the way it'll come out. They're selling it for somebody else. Hello, train. And then what'll happen is you bring all this money to buy this item, and they'll have you meet someplace, and they'll knock you in the head or do whatever they got to do. They'll steal your money. You obviously won't get the item. Usually the item's not even there, and they run off with your money. It's basically a robbery. So be very careful and make sure you take all the precautions you need to take. Must be something going on here in town. There's got all the cars parked up in here. Look at this little place. Your Place Coffee Shop. No bigger than a little garage. Might have to go check that place out. That's a neat little place. Apparently it's just a little shack where a bunch of locals get together and sit and drink coffee at different times of the day. Pretty cool. Well, this little town's a gold mine for cool stuff. Got an old pickup out here, some manure spreaders, some old tractors. Pretty cool. There's an old crawler on a trailer. Old GMC pickup. Another old cool pickup. Wow. Here's a fake looking tractor made out of old oil cans and an old fuel tank. An old hay rake and another old, I think that's a fake tractor there too. So I think somebody just threw that together. But neat looking stuff. The cool old John Deere. Now I don't know if this co-op building is still a co-op or somebody's got it and just keeping all their cool stuff in it. Now I'd pay money to tour that old place. Look at that old motorcycle in the window there. Got one hanging up here. I bet you there's some cool stuff in that. Alright, we have arrived. We got our tailgate here. Picked it up from a gentleman here in town, and he had a neat old international pickup he was restoring. He showed us all around his shop. It's pretty cool. And he's going to come up and drive it up when he gets it done and show us. But nice tailgate. Still got the white lettering on there. It's going to look pretty cool on big red. We've got some rust down here that we can take care of, but that's no big deal when you know how to fabricate stuff. But we're going to get on the road and head back home. Super cool little town. I love it. It's an old grain mill here. Or not mill, but an old elevator. Looks like it's no longer in business. Love old towns like this. I picked up that tailgate from a guy named Mike. He was taking his precautions too. He had a friend there hanging out with him when I pulled up, just to be sure that I wasn't somebody sketchy myself. But he got comfortable real quick and his buddy took off. Now there's something in our path here on the way home that I want to stop and check out that I noticed last time I was down here in Holdridge for that auction. There's a campground up here just south of I-80 that I want to check out for some spring and fall camping. So we're going to run in there and check it out. Here we are, Sand Channel State Recreation Area. It's kind of a slough off of the Platte River. Let's check it out. We like camping on the water, and there seems to be plenty of water in here. Looks like it's only $7 a day for Nebraska residents. It's a little iced over right now. Not quite enough for ice fishing though. Got some nice campsites right next to the water, which was what we love. Pretty cool. Looks like it's $15 a night for a campsite. I don't know what the difference is. But even got a handicap deal here where you can take a wheelchair down to this little dock area and fish. I know it looks kind of brown and dead around here, but that's the way it looks in the winter. We are just the opposite of most places like California. They're green in the winter and brown in the summer. I think I've told you before that we are brown in the winter and green in the summer because we get the summer rains and the summer thunderstorms most every year. Looks like they got a couple trailheads, like there's some long nature trails you can walk on. That'd be cool. We could walk the dogs and go for a nice walk. And a lot of this campground is way off the highway, so you won't get the highway noise. So that's another plus. Pretty sweet. Lots of little individual ponds in here too that aren't really tied together. I'm guessing the water just subs underneath here. Some of these parks along I-80 are just like old gravel pits that they've taken the gravel out of, and then when they have the ponds left over and kind of turns back to nature, they turn it into a state park. It'd be nice there for like a little group camp. They got a couple campsites here together. You could bring in a couple campers. Big enough pond there that you could put some kayaks on and paddle around. Pretty good labyrinth of roads through here. Pretty extensive park. Even got like a little boat ramp here on this big pond. I don't know if they allow motorized boats in here, but pretty neat. Well, I think I've found my favorite campsite, number 21 here. It kind of juts out on a peninsula. It's got water all the way around it. Very secluded from the other campsites. Right up our alley. Nice little fishing area here. Water's crystal clear. Another real nice spot. Almost as good as the other one or better. Looks to be like number 14. So we'll have to keep a record of that one. Well, I definitely think we will be down at this campground this spring. Can't wait to do some more camping. We only got to go one time last year because we're so busy most of the time, but we need to make more time for camping. And I think this is going to be a go-to place. All right, back on the road. We are home. All right, let's get this thing unloaded. What do you think, Rubes? Well, there's our tailgate. It's the right width. We checked that out. It's got to get these old brackets off of here. And there's some brackets that we need to manufacture that are missing here for our these brackets for the chain hooks to go into. And then the guy gave us our hinge brackets, which go down here in the tailgate. They just bolt to down here once these old brackets are removed. We'll work on Big Red in a whole nother video. Mixer's in the house. Of course, we got to clean it up a little bit. But it's a 15-quart mixer. The bowl goes up and down with this lever here, or wheel. This changes the speed. This is for flat beater, dough hook, whip. You got a stop button, start button. You have a timer down here that you can either set to a certain amount of time if you wanted to go for up to, looks like 30 minutes, or you can put it over here if you wanted to not use it on the timer. You would turn it back that way, and then it just runs and not on the timer. Pretty sweet. Kelly's gonna love it. She can make bigger batches of her sourdough bread and stuff now without slinging flour out all over the place like happens in the little KitchenAid. And I can do bigger batches of Portuguese sweetbread too. A great addition to the old homestead. Had a real fun trip today. I did a couple other stops that you may see in another video. So had a real enjoyable drive today. And can't wait for Kelly to get home and show her new mixer. So hope you guys had fun hanging out with me today. I know I had fun. And I hope you stay safe and stay healthy till the next time I see you. We love you guys. See you then.